Regardless of how you Democrats all of a sudden are experts on the economy, all of a sudden now that Daddy Trump put on some tariffs and y'all are like, oh no, everything's going to be more expensive. No, we're going to be making more money and winning, and y'all are just mad you lost.
How are you still defending this man?
Daddy Trump knows exactly what he's doing. He wrote the art of the deal.
He had a ghostwriter do it.
There you are with your woo-woo witchy leftists believing in ghosts. We don't do that here in America anymore, babes.
Oh my God.
That's right. Everyone is going to get tariffs. Everyone's going to pay to earn our business.
How do you not understand that we're going to be the ones that pay the higher price, not them?
You really need to do yourself a favor and do your own research.
Literally, what research have you done?
I'm on YouTube. I'm on Reddit. I'm doing all sorts of research you don't even know.
No, literally, I think you don't know. Do you know that he didn't put tariffs on Russia?
Why would he put tariffs on Russia? That's where his wife is from. So it's like, why would you wouldn't do that to family?
Oh my God, you're serious.
I'm as serious as Daddy Trump's McDonald's order. Get it right, you know?
I was 11 during the Great Recession. I remember my dad being genuinely just stressed out to the max, always having the news on, always just talking about it because my dad was a car salesman. This man sold cars through the Great Recession. He had been selling cars in this country since the 70s. And I remember being genuinely concerned about if my dad was going to be able to afford to live. And it was also the same time my dad was dealing with immigration stuff that was costing him, at the end, it cost him like $70,000 to be able to stay in this country during the Great Recession. And when my freshman year of college, I took a psych class because I was an education major on, what has made Gen Z the way that they are. And one of the proponents of it is the Great Recession. Whether or not Gen Z was aware, they watched their parents lose their jobs. They watched their parents struggle to put food on the table. If they had older siblings that were millennials that were graduating college, they struggled finding a job. And Gen Z, no matter their age, saw this and now don't value education. They have residual trauma from it. And Gen Z is graduating college. I'm the oldest band of Gen Z. I'm 97. And now Gen Z is dealing with that themselves. They can't pay their student loans. There's no aid for them. They can't get jobs because there's no jobs. Jobs are systematically being erased. And we all thought the Great Recession was the worst thing it could be, and it got worse. And that is a frightening thing as someone who is educated. And I don't have an answer. And it's really scary because I literally teach Gen Z, Gen Alpha kids. I teach them Avid. And I'm like, here's why you should go to college. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, is college worth it at this point? Are they going to be able to get FAFSA? Are they going to be able to get Pell Grants? Are they going to be able to get student loans? Are they going to be able to afford college? Are their families going to be able to put food on the table tomorrow? Are they going to make it to college? But yeah, let's give tax breaks to billionaires.
Trump has just told the World Economic Forum that if they want to sell products in the United States, they must be made in the United States, or you're going to have to pay a tariff. And everyone's going, oh, he's so patriotic. He's the best president we've ever had. They're all losing their shit over it and want to have their babies, but they don't realize the truth behind what this actually means. It just means that the cost of living in the States is going to go up. Again, why? Look at it from a manufacturer's point of view. Why would you manufacture something in the United States that you already have infrastructure elsewhere to manufacture? You're going to have to move your infrastructure. You're going to have to pay the American workforce to work for you. They're not cheap. So the price of the product is going to go up anyway if they manufacture in the States. So why not just keep manufacturing where they're manufacturing right now and pay the tariff? They don't mind paying the tariff. Why? Because the price of the tariff goes on the price of the product that they're selling. The American people are going to pay the tariff. But guess who gets to keep the tariff? The parasite class. The American government and the parasite class. They're making money while they're making the common people poorer. This is the age-old story. And when are you going to wake up and see it? That none of these elected leaders, I don't care who it is, whether they're red, whether they're blue, whether they're yellow, whether they're green, what political party they're a part of, they're all part of the same club, the parasitic class, and they will never, ever do anything for you. They only ever do things for themselves. It's time to wake up. Take back your power, take back your sovereignty, and create.
You have to trust the president's instincts on the economy, says Mike Johnson, a man who should be known the worldwide for exemplifying the evolutionary marvel that it is to be able to stand without a fucking spine. Hard pass on the whole trust Trump's instincts thing. The only thing I'd trust this particular president's instincts on is where to get a fucking hamburger. He doesn't have a sense of true north. His internal compass points him to the closest fucking McDonald's. Sure, Mike, I'll trust the instincts of a guy who bankrupted a fucking casino. This all, of course, comes on Trump's Liberation Day, where he announced a litany of tariffs that make the ones that led up to the Great Depression look like small fucking potatoes. A tariff between 10 and 34% on just about everything we import means the only thing you're fucking getting liberated from is your own goddamn money. I would advise each and every one of you to not check your fucking 401k in the morning because it's gonna look real red. I'll make this prediction right now so I can tell all of you fucking half-wits that I was right. One of two things is about to happen. Either we're all about to get financially fucking waffle stomped, or Trump is gonna back down like the maladapted twat that he is.
Make your products in the United States. I don't understand why you have to manufacture them abroad if it's getting so expensive. Literally impossible for the next 10 to 15 years. But let me explain to you what is going on and why we are royally fucked. Because we're all finding out that this is how tariffs work. Use the example of Instant Angel because I actually tried to produce this tube in the United States. Hi, my name's Charlotte Palomino, co-founder of Do, and I worked on the manufacturing side for years. This aluminum tube, I actually found a company that claimed that they made it in the United States. So once I provided the artwork, they said, great, this will be produced in about 3 months. We had our launch date. Joyce had given the tech transfer to our contract manufacturer. We were good to go. 3 months rolls around and we are told by the tube manufacturer that they just can't find anybody in Kentucky to work the lines. Now, as somebody who is industrious and who does not like it when I feel like somebody's withholding information from me, I found somebody on LinkedIn that worked at this company and I made them give me the address in Kentucky and responded to who I was talking to at the time, who was very high up at the company. And I said, if you do not tell me what's going on right now, I am driving to your fine state. That's when they told me the truth. The tubes were coming from China and they were only decorating them in Kentucky. And because they couldn't get it to the price that they quoted us, they couldn't find anybody to work the lines because they were underpaying people. This highlights the very problem of trying to bring all manufacturing back into the United States. These are jobs that you would not be able to pay a livable wage. This isn't to say that you can't pay a livable wage to somebody who is making these products, because now our tubes are sourced from Italy and then our other packaging is sourced from Spain. And so they're able to make a livable wage. There's two things that you're forgetting. They have had the infrastructure for decades. We have to build that from scratch, which requires investment. And number two, they have very strong social safety nets. And so businesses aren't paying for things like healthcare, and there's affordable childcare. Food, healthy foods, and fresh foods are subsidized. Oh, and they also have centers for disease control. Really bad for business when everybody's like coughing and dying. So in order for the United States to get our manufacturing back here, it's going to be requiring billions, if not trillions of dollars of investment from the government. And on top of that, you are going to be footing the bills for companies in the interim. Very little of what you own is only made in one country. Like, even if you look at clothing, even if it's manufactured in the United States, that fabric is likely not. And so I'm just using packaging as an example, but when you look at skincare, there are thousands of different touch points when you have, say, 100 products, which is very common in color cosmetics. You have the packaging, you have the formula, you have the box, which is called the secondary. On est vraiment dans la merde, which is French for we're in the shit. Quand je suis très en colère, je parle en français. When I'm really mad, I speak in French. And I'm mad for us because we're making problems that don't need to exist, and there are very real problems to solve. Bonne journée, bonsoir.
Give him our Is he friends with Jet Ski Brian? He is not.
Say you got a plug, right? And every time you go to him, it's $20, $20, $20 for an eighth. Then the next time you go to him, he tells you it's $40. And you ask him, you like, yo, what you doing? It's $20. And he like, nah, my plug, he charging me 10%. Like, he adding on tax. So now I got to tax you to make my profit. So now the same bud you been getting, the same amount, is now 40 instead of 20 because of the newly added tax, right? That's basically what the economy's going through right now with the new tariffs and shit. Like, all the imported goods is getting taxed. Some more than others. So that means all the stuff that you like to buy that's imported from like China and different areas is gonna get raised because they gotta add money to the final sale so they can make their profit too, you feel me? They're not just gonna eat the tariffs and just sell the shit at the same price. They gotta raise their prices because it's costing more to bring it in.